We're now going to play Jungleland, which is the Bruce Springsteen song with the amazing solo by the famous and fantastic Clarence Clemons. Step 1, Jungleland was played by Clarence Clemons. Clarence Clemons was one of the most famous saxophone players of all time. He was great friends, and he was also the saxophone player for Bruce Springsteen, and obviously him and Springsteen were fantastic friends as well as part of the E Street Band. I had the great joy of seeing Springsteen and obviously Clarence play at Wembley in 1986 on the Born in the USA tour, and he's a great sax player and a great presence on stage, a great charisma on stage as well. The other famous solo he did, which we also do teach, is the one from Born to Run as well. He plays a brilliant solo in the middle of that. So we're going to learn this fantastic solo on the sax, played exactly as Clarence Clemons plays it. Step 2, Clarence's approach to a solo. Now, I'm going to quote two of my favourite saxophone players as well as Clarence's, because it sums up beautifully how to play the perfect pop sax solo. Junior Walker and King Curtis were the two biggest influences on me. All those jazz cats were too abstract for me. Junior was more animated and he got straight to the point. He knew it wasn't how many notes you played, but what each note says. Quality, not quantity. Both these two amazing players are in my Sax Mad Men book, which you can buy on Amazon, which gives you a guided tour to lots of different horn players. What they got up to is they're all amazing characters, as you can imagine, and some songs to start listening to them and see which ones speak to you. Junior Walker and King Curtis massively spoke to me. I've written books on both of them. Junior Walker was the Motown sax player, fantastic sax player, powerful sound, and King Curtis was like the king of soul sax, I called him. He was like the Jimi Hendrix of the sax in the 60s, and he was the musical director for Aretha Franklin. So both these people we would come across. So the way that's described is a beautiful sax solo in a nutshell. It's glorious, it's got feel, it's got power, and it's just straight to the point. It's wonderful. So this tune is in A blues. The notes in A blues are A, C, D, D sharp with the blue note, E, G and A. So for alto sax players, that's a really nice friendly key, and has 4 fundamental parts to this magnificent solo. This magnificent solo too, when he does it live, it's just a little bit slower than they do it on the recording, the studio recording as well. Step 3. Clarence, at this drop, so the music goes quiet, hits this beautiful high C. Okay, which is lovely, really powerful. You notice I do a little drop off on that. We'll talk about how to do that in a second. And his 6'6" personality kind of shines through the immense sort of gravitas of this man. And then a little bit later he holds the A and he does this beautiful vibrato where he plays the note straight and he just has this beautiful shimmer in it. Which is lovely. He just gives it that little, that Clarence Clemons feel. Okay. Then he does this. Which is he drops the jaw. So one of the things that we've done when we're doing wahs and woos, we do those lovely. What we have to work out is how far we have to drop the jaw to bend into a note, a bit like a singer. So we're all singers, okay? So we're bending into notes. So what we call scoop up. One of the greatest exponents of this is a guy called Plas Johnson, who was the original guy who played the Pink Panther. Check out a track called Tanya, which again, I can teach you. I've done a whole book of Pink Panther. I love this guy's playing. He was a beautiful session player in the 50s and 60s and still going today. So what you're doing is you're bending up into a note. So instead of playing the note pure, so if you say you go from a G to an A, if you play it cleanly, and what you're doing is you're dropping the jaw as you take the finger off the G to go to the A. So it's almost like you're setting a trap for it and bringing the jaw up. So you don't want to lose the note, so you get this kink in the note. You get this little kink into the note, and that's what we call a scoop. The fall off is the other way around. I call it like almost like a sigh where you're going. It's like when you sit down, you go, oh, like that. It's that sort of feel. So Clarence is doing it on the C and a B here. He's going. So again, still playing it clean. He's going. It's giving it that human-esque feel again, and that's why the saxophone is so beautiful, because no one sounds the same. We all have our own personality, and we all try to put that into our instrument to define ourselves. And Clarence, again, this is one of the reasons that he is so such a great player. The final thing he does is he does a beautiful passing D sharp, the blue note. So he's not afraid to put the blue note in twice, and it sounds magnificent. So never be afraid to repeat when you're doing a solo. So that's the first part of the 4-part of Jungleland. Step 4. Now it's up and away. The band are in, the drums are in, the music lifts, and it's in full motion with Clarence leading the way majestically. Each lyrical note sung out. And what's lovely is the end of this section, he starts, the last 2 phrases of this section, he starts exactly the same way. Okay, which is lovely. So starting each phrase the same way, but then having the confidence to just change the ending. Again, you need to be inside your A blues, and again, you need to really put this solo deeply into your mind, so you know exactly how each phrase happens. But what's lovely about this phrase is the way he plays it. He plays absolutely spot on. Every note is thought about exactly like that quote. Every note is measured. There's no flash. It's just beautiful, kind of raw, solid, gorgeous, deep, rich spiritual playing. So that's the second section of it. So by this point the band are in and we're up and we're cooking. Step 5, the third section is going up another notch again as well. And what's lovely about this section is he now starts to introduce his world famous hum. Now what we're all looking for is our signature sound, something that would differentiate us from anyone else. And Clarence had a signature sound. This is also a sound that he introduces in a song that we really love at Blowout from an album called Peacemaker called Serenity, which is gorgeous, with something else we'd do from Late Night Spiritual. So he has his own signature sound, and that's what we're going to learn next. Step 6. Clarence has his own, very much his own sound, and he took this sort of signature sound of the hum, which is a kind of a growl, it is a growl, from the great King Curtis. King Curtis used to almost shade notes with this. So the way that you do this is you go, it's as though you're trying to hum out your nose, and you're trying to sort of blow a kazoo. Okay, so this is what differentiates Clarence. So this last part of it, he's growling all the way through, so he's going. I'm kind of improvising by the end, but you get the idea. He's going, and all your head can hear is the. And then what happens with this after a while is you can kind of shade notes with it, so you can not give it the full sort of force, if you like. You go. And this changes the whole dynamic of playing the sax. It dirties it up, and it's a dirtying of the sound. So this is one of these things that some people get it straight away, and some people it takes a while to get. But once you've got it, it's a really useful weapon to have in terms of your articulation sort of armory, if you like, and you can just bring it in and shade it out, and it's just like having a new paintbrush, if you like. So it's a really beautiful part of your palette to play the sax as well. And Clarence was the master at that, at using this as well. So definitely try and get the hum into your sound. It stops it being virginal and clean and gives it that little bit of dirt. And then the whole solo hits a climax, and then it falls away beautifully with a lovely little chromatic run. And like I say, live it's slower, but just the spine tingling. So deep into the A blues, learn each section in 4 parts as well. Okay, so that is Clarence Clemons, Jungleland, and all the important aspects that one needs to learn. Step 7. Do check out any more by Clarence. Like I say, there was this beautiful track called Serenity, which is the way that he plays beautiful long notes, and that's something that I teach as a long note exercise. Don't like the word exercise, but I do, where you're really working on the delivery of your sound. Now, another great saxophone player that I absolutely adore is called Ben Webster. Ben Webster described, he said, the way I treat a note. And that's what Clarence is doing in Serenity. Every single note is thought about, whether it's tongued, whether he's bent into the note, whether he's hummed. Everything's thought about, the way I treat a note. And one of the aspects of being a great sax player, and this is why Clarence is one of the greatest sax players of all time, is to really dig into your spirituality and play and kind of really move you and really move an audience and convey an emotion. And that's what makes Clarence such a great player. He's got a real weight and a gravitas to his sound, and that's what makes him one of the greatest sax players of all time. So enjoy playing Jungleland. It's a magnificent tune. And if you get a chance to perform it, try and perform it on your own. There's also a backing track. Perform on your own and see if you can kind of convey that sort of that majesty of playing